If you're South Asian and you've been trying to lose belly fat for months or even years, and no matter what you do, the weight won't budge, you need to hear this. Because what I'm about to show you is why every diet that you've tried has failed, and why the advice that you've been getting was never designed for your body, your food, your life in the first place. A few months ago, one of my clients went back to his doctor after 8 weeks of working with me. He'd been dealing with type 2 diabetes for years on medication and told it was something that he would have to manage for the rest of his life. His doctor looked at his blood work and said, "What are you doing? Did you take a magic pill?" There was no magic pill, just a system built specifically for South Asians. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Before I show you how this works, let me ask you something. How many times have you started a diet, lost a bit of weight, felt good for weeks, and then life happened? A wedding, a family dinner, work got busy, and suddenly you're right back to where you started. Maybe even worse than before. And every time that happens, you lose a little more confidence in yourself. You start wondering if maybe this just isn't for you. Maybe your body's different. Maybe it's genetics. And maybe you're just not disciplined enough. But here's what I've learned working with hundreds of South Asians. The problem isn't you. The problem is every diet, every trainer, every program that you worked with wasn't built for your life. They tell you to cut out rice. They tell you to cut your broccoli. They tell you to eat bland food, skip family events, train twice a day, and act like you don't have a job, kids, or cultural responsibilities. That's not a plan. That's a fantasy. And while you're stuck in this cycle, time keeps passing. Another year of avoiding photos. Another year feeling uncomfortable at weddings. Another year of watching everyone else seem to have it figured out whilst you're still struggling with the same weight that you've been carrying for years. The clothes in the wardrobe that used to fit don't anymore. You make excuses to not go on holiday because you don't want to be seen in a swimsuit. And deep down, you know you're capable of more, but something keeps holding you back. Here's the part that no one talks about. It's not just physical, it's mental. You stop trusting yourself. Every failed attempt chips away your confidence. You start to believe maybe this is just how it is for people like you. Maybe South Asians aren't built different. Maybe your genetics make it impossible. And the worst part, you start accepting it. But I'm here to tell you that's not true. Most people think South Asians can't lose fat without giving up the food. That's wrong. Most people think you need hours in the gym every day to see results, and that's wrong too. And most people think if you tried multiple times and failed, it means that you're the problem, and that's completely wrong. Here's the reality. You've been following systems designed for Western lifestyles, Western foods, and Western schedules. And when those systems don't suit you, you start to blame yourself. But the system was never built for you in the first place. I'm South Asian. I understand the food, the family pressure, the guilt that comes with putting yourself first. I've watched family members struggle with their diabetes, with weight, with energy, thinking it's just part of just getting older. And I've spent the last 6 years proving that's not true. You don't need to abandon your culture to get into shape. You don't need perfect motivation, and you definitely don't need to eat like a bodybuilder. What you need is structure that fits your actual life. Over the last 6 years, I've helped hundreds of South Asians drop anywhere between 5 to 50 kilograms without restricted dieting and without living in the gym. People with demanding jobs, people with families, and people who thought their genetics made it impossible. And I didn't do it by giving them a generic meal plan or cookie cutter programs. I did it by building a system specifically for South Asians. One that works with your dal, roti, rice, and shak. One that fits around your weddings, family dinners, and your long work hours. One that doesn't ask you to choose between your health or your culture. Because here's what I've learned. When the system actually fits your life, consistency becomes easy. And when the consistency becomes easy, the results become inevitable. And that's the difference. And this is what I call the core fitness system. It's not a diet, it's not a meal plan, and it's definitely not a quick fix. It's a complete framework built around 3 things: your training, nutrition, and your mindset. First is training. We design everything around your schedule. Whether that's training at home or in the gym, 3 days a week or 5, we built it to suit your lifestyle. No 2-hour sessions, no rigid time slots, just efficient, effective training that actually gets you results. Second is nutrition. We work with the food you actually eat, South Asian food. We don't tell you to cut out your rice or your broccoli. We teach you how to structure your meals so you can eat the food you love, enjoy family dinners, and still lose fat consistently. And the third is mindset. This is the part most programs ignore. A lot of people who come to me struggle with confidence, stress, or anxiety, and that's usually the biggest thing holding them back. So we don't just work on your body, we work on you. Accountability, reading, journaling, mindset work. Because lasting change only happens when the mental side is addressed too. And that's the system. So let me show you what this actually looks like in practice. Here's Vipul. late 30s, type 2 diabetes, and on medication. His doctor told him if he kept going the way that he was, he'll start to lose his sight. And in 5 years, he wouldn't even be able to walk properly in 10. And that hit him hard. He has one daughter, and he wanted to be around for her. In 8 weeks with us, he lost noticeable weight. His energy skyrocketed, his blood sugar stabilized, and he started coming off his medication. When he went back to his doctor, they couldn't believe the results. They asked him if he'd taken a magic pill. Meet Baz. He'd been to the NHS, taken tablets, and dealt with consistent energy crashes. And every doctor he'd been to told him diabetes was just something that he would have to manage. And I can't lie, he hated me in week 2 because I was asking him to trust a process every medical professional had told him wasn't realistic. But he stuck with it, and by the end of the program, his diabetes was completely reversed. The NHS told him to manage it, and we actually reversed it. Meet Jay, an overweight dad who let himself go after having kids. He looked at his photos whilst having kids, and he realized he needed to change. He wanted to be an example for his kids. 6 months later, he stepped on bodybuilding stage for the first time in his life. Now his kids watch him pose and even try to copy him. Meet Yitendra, who was Swaminathan. He lost 10 kilos whilst eating vegetarian Indian food the entire time. He thought it was impossible with his diet, but he proved himself wrong. None of these people are exceptions. This is what happens when the system actually fits your life. And by the time they finish, they're not just in better shape, they're calmer, more confident, more uncontrolled. They stop avoiding photos, they stop feeling insecure, and they stop holding themselves back. And that's what's possible. Now I know what you might be thinking. I don't have time for this. Time is the excuse that everyone uses, but here's the reality. Fat loss doesn't fail because people don't have time. It fails because the approach demands more time than real life actually allows. This system is built for people with full-on schedules. If you can give me 3 to 4 hours a week, we can make this work. I've tried everything already. Maybe you have. But did any of that actually fit your life? Did they count for the South Asian food? Did they actually work around your family commitments? Or did they just tell you to give you a generic plan and tell you to figure it out? I'll do it on my own. If that were true, you still wouldn't be here watching this. And if it was really going to happen, it would have happened by now. Not because you're incapable, but because doing this alone is exactly what's keeping you stuck. And here's the cost that no one talks about. It's not the coaching. It's another year of avoiding photos, another year of low energy, and another year of saying, this will be my year, and watching it all pass. How much is that costing you? Look, this isn't just one-to-one coaching where you get a plan and you have to figure it out on your own. When you join Core Fitness, you become part of something bigger. You're not just getting a coach, you're getting a community. Run clubs, weekly calls, in-person events. A group of people who understand exactly what you're going through because they're South Asian too. They get the family pressure, they get the cultural expectations, and they get the food. You will work directly with me and my team of experienced coaches who've helped hundreds of South Asians transform their lives. We understand your culture, your food, and your lifestyle because we live it too. No generic plans, no guesswork, no cookie cutter programs that work for someone else. This is personalized coaching built around your life, and you're surrounded by people who are pushing alongside of you, showing up to the run clubs, weekly calls, checking in, keeping each other accountable. But we don't work with just everyone. We only work with people who genuinely want to make a change. So if you're done with the cycle of starting and stopping, and if you're tired of programs that don't fit your life, and if you want a system that actually works with your culture instead of fighting it, click the link below and book in the call. We will talk you through where you are, where you want to be, and map out a clear plan to get you there. And if you're a good fit, great, we'll get you started and welcome you into the Core Fitness family. And if you're not, that's fine too. You still walk away with clarity. But here's what I know. Another year's going to pass whether you take action or not. The only question is whether you'll be in the same place you are now, or whether you'll finally be in the shape you know that you're capable of. Surrounded by people who've got your back. Click the link, book the call, and let's get to work.